to Jake the Usual's alien hunt. We're actually not hunting for aliens yet. We're preparing to. Last night we filmed a gigantic green fireball. Came out of the Geminid meteor shower, which we were not intending to film. We were actually looking for some of these drones that we've already filmed in the Massachusetts area. We've also filmed them in Rhode Island, whose state government is actually dealing with a massive cyber attack on top of the already massive cyber attack that happened weeks prior on all of our major cell phone and telecommunications companies. So now you got Rhode Island's, all their assistive government programs and the people that were using them, their data may have been stolen, including social security numbers, addresses, and more. While all that's going on, we're filming all these drones. I'm actually a drone pilot myself. And you know, I'm licensed, I took the test. I know most of the federal guidelines right offhand because I actually have to know them. And I know how to spot a copycat, which there are a lot of those now, especially now that you're seeing them pop up in other states. But the problem is some of these objects are real and they are posing a problem. And of course, the more that people are left to question what the hell's going on, and the more that people are into it, the more you're going to see crazy situations happen, and eventually something negative is going to happen. And I would imagine that the civilians are going to be blamed for it, so that way El Governmento gets its way. But that being said, make sure to share, like, and comment. The more we grow, the more we show, the more you view, the more we do. And I'm about to keep people safe. I don't like seeing people be taken advantage of, especially during the holiday season, regardless of the reason. And stands to reason that we've looked at some of the models of these objects that are flying high and wide above the United States of craziness, and they look like quadcopter types that have been, of course I'm seeing something right now, part of Anduril and Archer, which are two defense contracting companies. And I didn't come up with this myself. Somebody that actually has a problem with Archer, and I'm not sure what it was, which is funny to me. They were making YouTube videos and they were complaining about them for the past few weeks, but then all of a sudden they said, well, are they involved with these drone things? Are you kidding me? So I'm looking at that, and some of those objects do kind of match the style and the size, actually. And a lot of the problem with people trying to identify these legit ones happen to be because of the great size of them, and the fact that people haven't seen them before. These are actually brand new to market. So I mean, that's something everybody can look up on their own, but I'll dive into that and the new VTOL technology, which has a similar style craft and also fixed wing craft that can operate silently. And apparently it isn't just defense contractors that have, well, it may be for now, but it won't just be defense contractors that will have the technology available to have drones that do not reflect heat. And I'm not sure if that's like meant to help something, like engine and battery life or something like that, or maybe it is just going to be defense. And they're saying that private contractors are going to be the ones that are going to sell it and then choose what to do with it after. But apparently that's real as well, so that kind of explains why people aren't able to see them on night footage, rather on night cameras. And I think they were having trouble with infrared because of the phase shifting. But we filmed a few of these in airspace that they're not supposed to be in already, personally, and I've seen them with my eyes while I was doing it. It'd be pretty weird if I was just doing it with like my eyes covered. But the fact that I've seen that more than once within the past couple of years, and actually I just saw one last month in a place that it wasn't supposed to be, literally right over the area that we recorded live last night and we'll be doing again tonight. It stands to reason that whoever this is, they're, even if they're all the way up to, like, classified using crazy stuff, they're using dangerous things over your heads, and they're not telling you anything about it besides, like, it's okay. It's like, if one crashes, it isn't okay. So I'm kind of baffled by that part. I'm also baffled by the reports that the police and National Guard are saying about packs of drones coming off of the ocean and chasing them, which it may be true. I'm not saying that it isn't. But the question of what mothership that they were coming off of, right? The initial report was that it was one particular Iranian mothership, which is basically just a boat that the drones come off of. And these are quadcopters, so they don't need, and actually even the fixed-wing ones, they don't even need to have like a runway. So you don't need an aircraft carrier. That's all you need is to have a boat that can have the drones. You can literally use a fishing vessel. So, I think what's happening is there was some sort of mothership that went missing, right? And we got that on, there's an open source program and website that you can use to actually literally use a satellite to look at where it is, look right at it. Not just the data, but at the actual vessel. And it's obviously not like live. I think it updates every like 12 or 24 hours or something like that. Obviously to protect military assets, but they want the public and shipping lanes aware of what all this stuff is. Where it is, where it's going, all that. So, yeah, and that occurred to me, so I was, looking at all these people that run shipping lanes and the cargo intake areas. Sure as hell, that's what they were reporting, is that there's no way that it could have made it here in the couple weeks that it was missing, quote unquote. So it stands to reason that there's another mothership of some sort, maybe a submarine type, and it's in international waters. And they're gonna have a tough time locating it, especially if it's stealth. But that's if that report's true. And I don't like calling people liars and stuff, but when you've got a whole bunch of people contradicting each other in official capacities, you're gonna have that sort of problem. And I am curious as to what people are seeing out there themselves. The best thing to do is to record live, and if you see these drones land, they're telling people to call the police, and I guess, I don't know what they think, that people are going to contact the bomb squad, but it's like, you contact the police and then they contact the bomb squad is what the report is indicating. And actually they're wearing hazmat and bomb protective outfits. And there's already been a few crashes, one reported shoot down, and one arrest, although the arrest wasn't particularly tied to this this whole incursion, but it was a Chinese national that was trying to board a plane to China after he had flown a large drone over a Space Force base. I believe this was in Texas. That's what I'm trying to do, is keep up with all of this at the same time as one person, record these things live and get you guys that information. So if there are little bits and pieces of things that I'm missing, I appreciate people leaving in the comments the rest of the details on those stories that I'm mentioning. All they really take is a Google search. Okay, that's it's a really weird looking plane. Of course, as I'm leaving Fall River, Massachusetts, there are really odd looking planes flying really low. I've never seen that before. What the hell? Alright, I guess we're gonna be out, definitely gonna be out tonight then. That was right over where I was recording last night. I try to drive as safely as possible, like most people. So I'm not gonna. I really wish I wasn't heading to a. I wish I wasn't headed to an appointment right now, where I turn around and record what I just saw. We actually got a large green fireball last night, which I didn't expect, because in the situation that we were filming in, with the full moon being literally directly above our heads, it makes it somewhat difficult to film a meteor shower. However, this one in particular has very large meteors, fireballs, however you want to try them, bolides, in this case, for sure. It's a sort of situation where I'd figured that if there were going to be drones and UFOs, that you may not be able to see the light right away, but I'd be able to use the backlight of the moon in order to record any that were camouflaged. And I know how to spot drone lights or something that's appearing to look like that or be as bright in movement. I know all the way to satellites. I have specialized cameras that we were using last night in order to capture all this stuff. And I had used both telescope lenses and wide angle lenses, which is why I was actually able to capture the meteor. Unfortunately, being a one-man team, I got to set the cameras to take pictures on their own. You can do video, but the batteries die slower, so that's a suggestion to people that are out there trying to investigate these things. If you don't have a large budget, you can even use an app to set your camera to continuously take pictures if it doesn't already have that option in it. And of course, you're going to want to have a little bit of a longer exposure because of nighttime, which means that your camera takes longer to take a picture, but you don't want to have it so long that it's stretching the image and making the object look unclear. Your phones aren't really going to capture these things in any sort of high fidelity anyway, because anything over 500 feet is going to be tough, especially with a blinking light at night. It's going to be very tough to get any detail on it. So like I said, we tried to get around that as well as we could. We didn't see anything in particular, at least I didn't with my eyes. There's a fire going on over here, I guess. Hopefully that's just somebody's fire pit or something. But just like we did last night. But since I was recording the entire time I was out, we definitely captured a bunch of different things from shooting stars, which I already saw a few. As I was editing some of the footage that we'll be releasing tonight. The rest of the footage was from the better cameras, so we're definitely going to have something in there, whether it be satellites or possibly UFOs that are very high up. I mean, they may be some sort of new tech satellite, but they actually do change position. I've both seen and filmed them. And we'll be also compiling some of the old photos, and I think we still have some of the clips. I'm not 100%. If we don't, I'm going to have to re-upload them, which might take a few weeks for like a second episode. But all the UFO stuff that we personally filmed, that I personally filmed, that I saw, that we have eyewitnesses for, so that way everybody's up to date and I can just start focusing on all this new information, because this is a still ongoing situation. It is spreading. I think mostly due to the fact that the story is starting to spread. With like, I think it's been like 2 weeks in major media and 3 weeks in because you call it like subculture media, I don't know. But I've been aware for quite some time, and only just last night we started to see a similar phenomena be reported in Massachusetts, which is right when I started being able to record these things live. For this project. But just a month prior, I had been really sick, and I had just started to feel better, so I started to go out and record some stuff. And not only was I able to film some, but there was one that was really low when I didn't have my camera on that really freaked me out, because it looked like a satellite, but it was only like maybe between 1,000 feet and 3,000 feet up, which doesn't make any sense. Totally silent, and I don't know what to tell you about that particular object. I was hoping that we were going to film that or something similar, because it seems to be that they follow a similar track around here, and I'm not sure if that's to avoid detection or to avoid the lanes of traffic from the various airports around here. But I have seen these things fly in airport restricted airspace too, and you have to get permissions to do stuff like that. and in some cases around here you can't do it at all because it's military. So once I do get the time, I'm going to start cross-referencing those reports with actual findings from whatever enforcement was used to try to find or capture these things, or whatever the reaction was. And at the same time, we're going to try to replicate a lot of these things. I'm going to be showing everybody how I fly a drone, one, but two, how they're flown at night, how they look at night from a distance. And that's all going to be in a live video tonight, so that way you guys can see that it's not edited or anything like that. And that should help straighten out some of the confusion for some people. So I do hope this is shared, so that way everyone that's confused and worried out there, they can be a little bit less so, because this isn't as wide scale as a phenomena as I think most people are being led to believe. And at the same time, someone out there is really screwing around, and the government and all of our enforcement that would be controlling these things, regulating them, they're for some reason letting the public get fucking really freaked out to the point of panic, and it's not right. I don't care what the reason is, whether it be probably they try to report 3 because they're freaked out about some threat that happened because they're allowing certain weapons to be used in the war in Ukraine and stuff, which that's been reported too, that there's a nuclear threat or that there's a chemical threat, and that these things are searching or creating a LiDAR map of the areas that they're going to have to defend autonomously. That has not been verified, but several sources have said it, and those sources do come from supposed reputability, because they work in DOD and various other Homeland Security and stuff like that. But nobody wants to be the person that says, "Oh yeah, that's this," because then every time somebody makes a claim on this particular subject, all of a sudden it gets debunked really fast by somebody else in another DOD facet or another program or whatever. But that's intentional. Of course, weeks in, you have to know that. And things like keeping people confused is a good way to stay, to gain some time and stay safe. And I don't want to freak people out, but if they're willing to have the public be worried about these sort of things that are happening right now, then it stands to reason that maybe it's not just the public, but somebody that's in the public that they want worried about this, and that the rest of us are just kind of having to deal with it. So, the invasion may not be from drones. That may just be what they're using to tell people that there's an invasion without telling people there's an invasion. Freaking people out. As much, So yeah, we have another show coming out tonight live, as I was saying, and there are people that are going to try to, and AI that are going to try to block this story from getting out, so that way people still stay scared and terrified and all that. And we need to stop that by sharing what information that we can verify and compiling all that information so we can get the whole story, and then forcing an official to tell people that shit once we prove it. So, don't forget, we're the ones that pay them. And I don't remember anybody that's poor saying that they want world war, at least that I've ever heard. But beyond that, I hope everybody's having a good holiday season. We're actually sharing more holiday-based content the week of Christmas. I don't know if there's any other holidays that reside around then, but we celebrate all peoples. We have a bunch of fun. But in the meantime, while all this is going on, even if it does continue on into the holiday season, I'm going to stay on it as best I can, get y'all as many details as I can. And I hope that everybody out there kind of does the same. Hope everybody's safe. And I think that'll be it for now. We're about to close in on a destination. This is on YouTube, but we're on all major apps. I think I'm going to do the live feed tonight from Facebook, possibly, and YouTube. And then I'll also be pre-recording as well during that time to try to capture whatever the hell these things are and some other wild natural phenomena, obviously, which I didn't expect throughout the course of the night. And then we'll show you guys that footage the day after once I get it all together. And I'll probably take like a day to actually get some sleep, be a human being. And then I'll get back out there and maybe we'll try to change to a different location where a lot of these are being reported. The closest that I know of in Massachusetts is Cape Cod. Not in any rush to hustle my ass out there if I don't have to. So I'm going to keep an eye on the reports. I am willing to go to Jersey if need be. But we need a lot more viewers and we need a lot more subscribers. And it'd be nice to get like some sort of angel investor or something happening in order, even if it's just to fund that. Because that's a little bit of a hustle. I think that's like, 6-hour drive or something like that, and we'd be using a lot of different gear, so that would require a lot of prep and a lot of physical labor. I would probably have to bring another person or two, but it'd be best to have a second eyewitness anyway, especially on something like that, because I wouldn't want to go alone, record it, and then have everyone go, "Oh, you faked it out there with a flashlight and a dish." You know, so. And God forbid I get abducted by something, huh? Get a tentacle in my, you know what I mean? My backside, something like that. No thanks. God knows, watching Netflix, I've probably already been implanted with something. Well, with this new object we put in your rectum, you can like and subscribe without even having to think. You just squeeze a little. Just clench. Hashtag clench. Skies are definitely looking clear though, so it looks like we're probably going to be out tonight for probably the duration. Battery's kind of... There is one weird thing that happened last night. One super weird thing. And it does happen when we try to film these things, and it seems to be at no other time besides that, and maybe it could be because of the deep cold, but the cameras were randomly turning off. And in one case, it turned off and then back on when that green fireball came by, and then all of a sudden we didn't see any commercial plates for a while. So... I mean, I don't know. It has happened before, but the timing of it was very weird. The batteries weren't really close to dead or anything that would indicate that would happen. The temperature was actually dropping even more than it was, and the batteries ended up being better later, which didn't make much sense. So, I don't know what to tell you on that one. But it is reported that some of these objects have been coinciding with some sort of weird electronic effect that affects car radios, electronics such as microwaves, and digital clocks. And some people have shown some footage of that, but because there's nobody there to verify it with like EMF readers and stuff, it's tough to really verify those stories. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's what's going on. I think that actually happened while we were on the live podcast. I'm not sure. I think it was right afterwards. But I'm gonna try to keep the live podcast on as long as possible tonight. Just that way, if something does happen, I'll try my best to use the phone to be able to show people what's happening. Just because I think we can get the GoPro to do it, and I think that'll show a better picture at night. But I can't guarantee that. So I'm gonna try some calibrations tonight, and either way, I'm gonna get you guys the best imaging possible of whatever the hell we're seeing up there. On a live recording, So it's not edited. There's no way to edit it. There's no way to put in somebody else's footage or anything like that. You're literally going to be essentially there with us. Now, there are some people that I would like to have as eyewitnesses come with us and stuff. Or even if you're in another area and you're filming the same stuff from a different angle, that would be helpful. But unless it's somebody from the Fall River, Massachusetts area that I'm familiar with already, or that somebody else is familiar with, I'm not going to be teaming up with you, just because there's a lot of creeps, and especially nowadays, and you got a lot of strange activity online, especially with AI. So we had somebody asking if they could join us last night in real life, and I'm like, I can't even say your name. I don't even know who the hell you are. So yeah, it may get a little weird, but stick with us, and we'll do what we can. Now let's read the comments before I enter this appointment here. What car do you have? That's not my car. I always have a different one. Hello. Today's my birthday. Good for you. What is your name? Miyamo-S. My name's Jay the Usual. That's what you're watching. Yeah, as you can see, the channel's getting blocked. We're getting sent to a bunch of people that have no idea what we're talking about. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to start hashtagging stuff a little bit better. All right, we'll be back with more of the show. Thanks for watching, everybody.